This is Alicia Markfort. It's not Thursday at 2 p.m., I promise. I normally go live at 2 p.m. on Thursdays, Central Time. Is normal, but I had to punt this week. So if you're here, I would love to know that you're here. Drop me a chat. I'm going to give it a few minutes because I think I might be a little bit early. My phone and my clock in my craft room have one time, and my computer has the other, a different one. And I think I don't usually have my laptop up here, but I guess my laptop is fast. So I guess we're just going to give it a couple minutes and wait and see. But yeah, if you're here, drop me a note, drop me a chat. But I'm going to bring this up on my phone so I can see what you guys see. Because right now I'm in my software, so I can't see everything. All right, just looking for my YouTube app. And those. Okay, so, you know, things are alphabetical for a reason, right? Oh, let's see here. Okay, looks like I'm live. So if you're here, please put a note, type in the chat, and let me know you're here. So if you're here, okay. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia Markfort. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. I am here live tonight because normally I go live on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Time. And yesterday I had some technical difficulties, and I think I got 15 minutes into my live and everything just went kaput. My camera fried, my computer, the battery started swelling up. It was like a whole thing yesterday. So I have a temporary setup right now until I get I am using a camera from our office, and you know how that all goes. So, all right. So today I am going to share with you my Lovely Arrangements Class to Go. My Class to Go is when you place an order in my online store for $50 or more, you will receive the 4 cards that I will demonstrate for you today. You will receive boy, I am just tongue-tied. Maybe it's because it's Friday. I don't know. But you'll receive everything that I am showing to you. So you will receive the card bases, the card stocks, the ribbon, the DSP. You'll receive everything that you need except for what is stamped. I cannot send you stamped images. And since we're using the Lovely Arrangements bundle, everything that's in the bundle, hi Melissa. I have you on the big screen in your craft room. Woo! I'm on the big screen. Thanks for joining. I think that's kind of scary for me to be on like a huge screen. Anyway, I am going to switch over to my other camera. Oh, hi, Auntie Peggy. Thanks for joining. I'm just getting started, so. Okay, so I believe, yes, what I was saying was when you spent $50 in my online store, you will receive this card class to go. There are 4 cards in this card kit. and you will use the Lovely Arrangements bundle. So it's the stamps and the dies. And this is part of the Lovely Blossoms suite. So I think we're just going to get started. These are the cards we're going to make. This is the stamp set and the die set. I have everything in one envelope. That's how I store my stamps with Stampin' Up's new packaging. I just take, because normally you would receive two. I'm just going to pull them out. Normally you would receive two envelopes, one with stamps, one with dies. Okay. I combine them both into one envelope, and I store my dies on a magnet sheet, and I store my stamps. I keep them inside the little pouches. And as you can see, we're using a lot of the stamps tonight. But I got this tip, well, I don't know if we called it a tip. I guess it was a tip from my teammate, Patty. She had said that we were talking about, oh, remember when stamp sets used to come with way back in the day and they had a hinge on them? And I thought, well, I can make a hinge. So I just keep that flimsier film with my stamps, and I keep that on the top, and I just take a piece of packing tape and put that over the top to make a hinge. So that way the stamps don't stick to my paper. And then you can also, I bought these magnet sheets, okay, and then you can put your stamps on this side. I didn't really, I don't know, I kind of liked it the other way. I like to keep them separate, so separate but in the same thing. Hey Lori, how are you? Thanks for joining. Okay, so I am going to, you know what, I'm just going to keep these out because we probably need them. So let's get started. This is the first card we're making, and in your card kit you will receive all of these things. All right. Now I am starting something new, and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I've done it on a couple of my classes. I am including a stamping guide, and I had it here yesterday. I don't have it here now. And it will be on the second page of your PDF, and it will be a picture of an 8.5 by 5.5, so a half a sheet of paper, and it will show you where, like a little key, stamp here, here, and here, 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 and here, and separate them out far enough. So do it just like that, and then you will die cut. So you can, everything that needs to be stamped and die cut on basic white paper, cardstock, you'll do that like before you start making your cards. However, you do not have to do it that way. That sheet of paper will be provided for you in your first envelope. So always it will be in card number 1. So that if you find this half a sheet of paper and go, I don't need 2 card bases, well, 1 is for your stamping guideline. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All right, so in the first card, you will receive a thick, basic white card base. You will receive a basic white mat that will be cut for you for the front of our card. You'll receive a piece of cloud cover cardstock. Now this will die cut out with that new awesome circle dies. I just absolutely love. You'll receive a piece of basic white to stamp and die cut your sentiment. And then you're also going to receive this piece of basic white cardstock. We're going to do a technique where we are going to blend on the paper and do a little bit of splattering. And we're going to die cut our leaves out of that instead of designer series paper or a colored paper, just something just a little bit different. You'll also receive this strip of DSP. This is from the Lovely Blossoms designer series paper. And there is an accent sheet in this set of paper, which is so awesome. It has a strip. And so it's this, so it's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, right? And so the strip looks something like this on the paper. So I just cut it, and then I cut it down, and this is the one we're going to use for the card. and you'll receive a piece of cloud cover ribbon and a piece of white baker's twine for our little tag sentiment. Okay, let's keep that. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to do our blending. Okay, so you're going to want a piece of scrap paper, and you're going to need a blending brush, and we are going to be using Old Olive, and you need an Old Olive blend for splattering, and I'm going to use the dark Old Olive. Very pretty paper. Yeah, Peggy, it is. This paper for this suite is just gorgeous. I just love it. I love the colors. It's just everything's so great about it. Okay, so you're just going to take your Old Olive ink pad, and you're going to take one of your blending brushes. This is my green blending brush. I'm going to get some ink on it. If you don't like to put your brush in your ink pad, if you have a glass mat, just bloop, bloop on your glass mat and pick up your ink that way. The only reason why I'm not doing it tonight, that's what I normally do, but I don't want to have to keep cleaning up in between each thing and then making a mess. So normally, if it's just me sitting here, I just have this. So, all right, so we're going to start like this, and now this is going to be for die cutting our leaves for the front of our card. This is a great way if you don't have like the paper, or you don't have Old Olive cardstock, you can just make your own. And this does not have to be perfect. Like I said, it's going to die cut out the leaves, so you can make it lighter or darker. What's the difference? Lori, do you mean with putting it on the glass compared to the ink pad method? I know some people don't like, in case their blending brush wasn't exactly clean and had another color, they don't want to dip that in their ink pad. Yes, I hope that answered your question. So that's why some people don't like to do that. But mine is pretty much, it was clean, and I had used Old Olive with it last time. So I just want a little bit darker in some spots. And I'm going to cover this whole piece of paper, and I'm going to go a little bit lighter here. Okay. Then, okay. Yeah, I should have probably said that, but I'm glad I answered your question, Lori. I'm just going to close my ink pad up, and then I'm going to take my blends, my dark blend. Now, if you're familiar with sprinkling, some people flick. We're going to get little spots all over this. So some people, when I first learned, I learned where you took your cap and you went like this, and you get really great coverage. It really works awesome, but it also can fray the tip of your blend. So I have now moved over to using I use my bone folder. Anything you have that's sturdy should help. And what you're going to do is you're just going to tap. So make sure that you don't have anything around, because it's going to go. And we're just going to tap, tap, tap onto our paper to get some little ink spots for our leaves. And you do as much or as little as you would like. I think that looks pretty good. Not sure how well you can see that. Like I said, this is kind of a different camera. I don't know. Like I said, I need to get into it. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out my mini cut and emboss machine, and I'm going to die cut leaves with our paper that we made ourselves. And how fun is it to make your own paper? Your own paper. I think that is so much fun. So we are going to grab our dies, and we are going to use the leaf die. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this one. Okay. And I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to run it through. And so just place them where you would like, if you maybe want a little darker, a little lighter, wherever you think would be good. Excuse me if you just heard my husband call. He's walking around up here. He wants to be part of the fun today. Yeah. Okay. So here we have this. I'm going to cut out one more. So here, and you see, it's, like a two-tone color. It looks like watercoloring almost. It's so pretty. Okay, I'm going to take our little one out. And now on my card, I do have 4 leaves, but I don't know if I'm just going to use 3 or 4. We'll see, but I do want to cut another one out just in case that I decide that I want some more when I start laying my card out. And this way we don't have to keep going back and cut it. So how's everybody doing tonight? It's Friday. Yay! Normally by now I'd be in my pajamas, watching a movie or something, but this is way better. Way, way better. Nothing better than crafting with your friends, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. All right, so here's the other one. It's kind of blurry. Let's see that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to get the other semi-messy thing out of the way. It's not really messy, but kind of is. We're going to take our basic white cardstock that is our mat for the front of our card, and we are going to do something very similar to what we did with our leaf paper, except we're just going to make the specks, okay? And we're going to use our cloud cover. You're attempting to clean your craft room, Melissa? Yeah, I really should have been doing that today, but just wasn't in me. I hope you have success. Okay, so I just want a little bit of splatter on like this side of my card because this side is going to be covered up. So I'm just, again, taking my dark, and I don't want too much because I don't want it to be so overpowering. And remember that your alcohol markers, your blends, they will get lighter as they sit. So keep that in mind too. All right, so now we have that. I think now we can start assembling our card. I'm going to get my scrap paper out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. I'm going to set that aside. I am going to take, I don't like it when it doesn't sit flat. Like sometimes happens with the thicker paper. It really needs a good burnish. Okay, and then I have already die cut out the circle dies. Now, these dies, I don't know what this one is called. I call it the circle grid. I don't know what it was called, but that's what I call it. So this die I cut, and this is what you get. But we are not going to use it for its full intent purpose. We are going to cut this and use it for a scalloped border. So I'm going to pull out my trimmer quick because I cannot cut straight. Oh, that could be dangerous, Melissa. Yeah, Peggy. And basically what I'm going to do is I am just going to cut these apart. You could easily cut it with your scissors, but I think I'm just going to cut, and then I'm going to cut the one on the other side. That, and we'll set this aside for another use. All right. I know I really need to like clean my craft room, like clean up. Get rid of stuff from there. Just not gonna put stuff away. Okay, so this piece of designer series paper is 6 inches. Well, I need to trim this to be 5 1/4 to match our mat. Normally, I would do that for you, but I want you to do this because, one, I want you to decide, do you want more off of one side than the other? I thought I would let you choose how you wanted to do it. So this is 6 inches. So I am going to take, thankfully I just need light clean and put things away. Oh, God. Thank goodness, Melissa, because, boy, that is not my case. I have got stuff everywhere with pre-order stuff. So I'm going to start at, because I want it to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to start at 5 1/2. I'm going to cut off of this end. And then I'm going to save this little piece. And we are going to use this on another card. And then I'm going to turn my paper around. And I'm going to go to 5 1/4. And then I'm going to have it. All right. Now what I'm going to do, we are going to glue this to make a border. So I'm going to take my seal and I'm just going to run it along the side like so. And then I'm just going to pick this up and I'm just going to decide how much I want to show. And I'm going to just do it like that. And then I'm going to take the other piece, and it's going to be too long, but this way you can decide the gap that you want. And then if it looks like it's the same, and it's not, so if you just lightly set this on here, you can get it to be even and, move it around. And then I'm just going to take my snips and I'm just going to trim off the rest. So this is a great way to add a little scallop border. Okay, and I'm going to add seal to the whole thing here. And I have not put my mat on my card base yet because I want to tie my ribbon on it. So you want to do that, last. Normally I put my mat on right away, but because I want to put a ribbon around it, I'm going to wait. So now I'm just going to put this at the top, and I'm going to leave about 1/4 of an inch on the side. Okay. I'm going to smooth that down, and then I'm just going to do the cheater method for my bow or my ribbon, and I'm going to take my piece of cloud cover. Now I'm going pretty close to the center. And I'm flipping this over, and now this is up to you however you want to do it. You can use tape, like Scotch tape, or, tear and tape. I'm just going to fold this over, and I did not look close enough to the sides. Seal. We're going to fold that over. So now I can put my card mat on my card base. That. Add some seal. You could use liquid glue if you prefer. And we are just going to put this on here, leaving even margins all the way up. Okay. So now, the next thing that you would do is you would stamp and die cut your sentiment. Now, also in the dies are 2 sentiment label dies. You have this long rectangular oval, and then you have the skinny rectangle that fits your sentiments. This is a great set for an all occasion set. The sentiments, the dies, you have flowers, you have leaves, you have 2 other fun, interesting dies. So I've already die cut my sentiment. And for this card, we're going to use Hello Friend, and we're going to ink that up in Secret Sea. I just love the sentiments in this stamp set. It's so all occasion. This would be a great for somebody that wanted to really, if they didn't have a lot, and build up their sentiments, and it's got pretty flowers on it, leaves. Like I said, it's a great set. Can you tell I like it? I really like it. So we're just going to go in the center Just like that. And we have our sentiment. It says hello ribbon. I'm going to close this up, otherwise I'm going to get ink everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to make this into a tag. Excuse my reach. I'm going to use a hole punch. And I'm just going to put it on the end where the hello is. And I'm going to make this into a tag, so it looks like there's a tag up. I like the font too. Yeah, you know, it's really great, the font. I like it because it's, you know, like this one, I really like the font on the Sending Smiles and Always Here For You. I love when it's printed and it's cursive. You know, like here, happy birthday, or just a note, and then here's so very much. Yeah, it's an awesome set. Okay, so now I'm going to take my leaves and my ribbon, and we're going to decide how we want to put these. Now, it's up to you, however you want to place them. I think that it looks great to have them like so, you know, but I'm not going to put them until I get my sentiment on, but we kind of know where we want to place the sentiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this twine underneath the bow, or the ribbon, the cloud cover ribbon, and then I'm going to just thread one end through, and I'm going to take the other end and we are going to tie a bow. And once you tie your bow, and then you can mess around with it, but I wanted to tie it tight at first because I like that look of the ribbon, how it curls up like that. And then we're just going to tie a bow. You will have a piece long enough so it's easy to tie a bow. If you have a hard time tying bows, it's easier with a longer piece of ribbon or thread or baker's twine. It's much easier than you're not, fumbling around with the really short pieces. All right. Okay, so here we have this. I kind of want it to go over to the side like this. Before I do that, I'm going to trim off my ends like that. And I just hit something and something went on the floor. Hopefully it wasn't something that I needed, right? I like when the sentiment has both script and print. It seems crazy, but it's easier for me to line up. Lori, that's true. It's nice when it has that straight. Okay, so I'm going to put these on with glue, the leaves, and I'm just going to tuck them under the ribbon, but I'm not going to put glue. I'm just going to go at the bottom of the leaf and on the stem. That way, if you want to curl up your leaf to make it look a little bit more realistic, you can. I just love the look of that, the leaves like that. And then I'm going to take the other one. So I did cut two of the two-leaved leaves. And I'm not going to tuck it all the way under the ribbon like I did with the first one. This one's going to go more under the tag. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this, you guys, a new sheet of dimensions. Oh. And I am just going to tuck a dimensional underneath it, just on the tip, and I'm going to angle it to how I would like that to look. Go like that. And if you like, if you do cut another leaf, you could decide if you wanted another line here, or maybe down there. But I think we'll just leave it as is. And then you're going to embellish them with the beautiful Moody Palette Glossy Dots. Now, I did look this afternoon. If you wanted to purchase the suite, you can't right now because these are out of stock. They are coming back in stock. But you can get everything else. You can get the paper, you can get the ribbon, you can get the stamp set, you can get the die set, you can get the embossing folder that goes with the suite. But these are not available right now. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I am going to put the cloud cover dots on here. I'm going to put one there. And I'm going to take another little, and I'm going to put it right in between these two leaves right there. So there's card number 1. Yeah. Awesome. I love the embellishments for this set too. I don't know. I just love everything about this set. So simple. Okay. So the next card that we're going to make is this one. This was my sketch. Oh, thanks, Peggy. This was my sketch challenge card that I have a group on Facebook called Expressions by Lish Stamping Circle. Thanks, Lori. And I host a sketch challenge every week. And this was the one that I have for my sketch challenge. There's some beautiful cards that people have posted on the site. Just really awesome cards. All right, so in your card kit, or card number 2, you will receive a basic white, thick basic white card base. You'll receive a piece of the DSP that will be cut for you. This is the back side. And this is the side that you're going to use, but you use what you'd like. You'll receive a piece of basic white for a mat, a piece of Pretty in Pink for a mat, and you'll receive this piece of basic white to stamp and die cut your sentiment. Now, I've already done, this is that little skinny label. So stamp it, then die cut it, but I'm going to wing it, and I'm going to see if I can stamp right on there. And then you'll also receive a piece of linen thread. Now, this is part of your stamping guide. So on your sheet of paper that you receive in your first kit, you will stamp these on there and die cut them out. So you already have these. These are stamped in gray granite and old olive. And we're just going to do a little bit of blending on those. So I'm going to do that first. And we are going to use the Petal Pink. I love the soft colors in this DSP with like the blues and the greens. It's so pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to color the entire, I want to make sure and leave a little bit of white with this. Okay, I'm going to start with my dark blends, and I'm just going to kind of do the flicking. Just like this, where I want it to be a little bit darker. Okay, this is the smaller one. I'm just going to do a little bit down here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the big. And now I am using my glass mat, so it is a little forgiving. It stays wetter just a little bit longer. Normally, you would go right away with your light and blend it in. But because of the glass mat, you have a little bit more time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in a circular motion. And I'm just going to blend this in. And now I'm not going in the center right here because I'm going to add some Daffodil Delight in there for my yellow center. So I'm just going to then, after I've blended, I'm going to do that same flicking thing. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the big. We're going to go in a circular motion to blend the two colors together so it does spread out on the paper. And then I'm just going to go and I'm going to just do a little bit of a flick. And so I don't color all the way to the ends. It gives it that watercolor, full watercolor look, I think. Okay. And then I'm just going to take my light Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to use the bullet end. And if you've watched my videos before, I have said that I like using the bullet end when I want it to be just a little bit lighter. And if you use the brush tip, you're going to get a little bit of dark. So this is the light blend, but this will be darker than this end because of how much ink comes out. So I am going to put just a little bit of dark down at the bottom, and same in the center. Well, it's not dark, it's the light, but the brush tip. Then I'm going to go with the bullet tip, and I'm going to use this as my blender. And I'm just going to scribble, 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 and I'm just going to pull that color out, just like that. And again, I'm not coloring the whole thing, I'm just giving it a little bit of zhuzh. Okay, so the other great thing in this stamp set is the die for this. Now this, we're going to put on here, and it doesn't cover the whole piece, but that's okay. These are going to just cut little tiny, they're going to look like little flowers all over your paper. It's not going to cut the rectangle out. It's just going to cut this. We are going to use this later on another card, and we're going to make our own stencil and use it like a mask, like for one. Okay, so let's get this stuff put together. So I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. That. You know, no matter how I try, I think that I'm going to do these in an hour. I'm already looking at the clock going, what? I just must really talk a lot or something. Like I can't talk and do the card at the same time or something. Oh, jeez. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my piece of DSP, which looks like that little flower that's going to cut out of your die, which is, I love that it's all matchy. That's another great thing about standing up. Okay, so we have our DSP on our card front. I'm going to take my mini and I am going to cut my petal pink, and I'm just going to go in the middle and just get the flowers to cut in the middle. So I'm not lining this up. I'm not going to tape it down, because if it moves just a little bit, that's okay. Thanks, Lori. Okay, so we're going to run this guy through. That. You'll see what I mean by it doesn't cut out to the whole thing. Like I said, I can't stop talking about this stuff. So I don't know. This is like probably my favorite bundle from the online exclusives that came out in June. Okay, and this is what's going to happen, and then you're going to have all these little things to poke out, or you can leave them. It's totally up to you. Where's my tool? It's kind of like I should have them like around my neck, like teachers did, where they have like the pen and stuff around my neck. Should have my pick tool and my scissors. I'm just going to poke these out. So, and you don't have to be too particular, especially on these ones where the flowers are going to cover it up. Okay. Let's see. I should use Melissa's little technique where she uses the softener sheet, fabric softener sheet, so you won't get this, but I never remember to do it. I even have it in my drawer. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over. And now you can use seal on this, or you can use liquid glue. I'm just going to put some seal on the sides, where there's not an, where it goes. Just like that. Just make sure I have no coverage. And then this is the same length. Whoa, I cut this wrong. Look at that. I cut the petal pink wrong. Imagine that. Okay, so we want this to be an 1/8 of an inch of us. So we're just going to trim this off. We're going to flip it over. You ran out of seal or liquid glue? What did you run out of? Oh, fabric softener sheets. I bet you it was fabric softener sheets. I bet you never run out of seal. Okay, so I trimmed that down. And then that is going to, like I said, it should be the same length it's going to be a little bit shorter on the top and bottom. So just that little bit of white showing. Yes, dryer sheets. I was gonna say, I don't know if I've ever heard you say you ran out of seal. Okay, and then we're gonna take this and we're gonna put this in the middle. And now when you receive your card kit, yours will be cut properly. Okay, we have that. And then we're going to place, I like going to curl up my flowers a little bit. And when I do that, I just take my bone folder and I just go around it like this, just to give it that little bit of, doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be perfectly cupped up. I just think it adds something just a little bit more. I'm going to do the same thing with the leaf tips. Just going to curl them up, just like that. Just a little tiny bit. Okay, I'm going to flip these over and we're going to add dimensionals on all three. So I'm going to put it at the bottom of my flowers, this one in the center, and this is going to get one on all three leaves. Okay. So I am going to place the big flower first, and it doesn't matter which way it goes. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it like that. And then I'm just going to go like this. It's pretty simple. And now I went at the bottom of this and just at the center of my flower so that I can tuck my leaf in without any, problem. And then I'm just going to take and tuck that under. So, okay. Then we are going to tie the faux bow. And I'm going to put a little bit of seal right here, because that's for our sentiments bundle. And now to make a faux bow, I don't know if you've ever made one before, but you just take your piece of thread with the loop that, put your finger in, and I kind of want it to go at a slant, so I'm going to put a little bit of angle, and then I'm just going to make some loops, and that's your faux bow. And now you can make it as big a loops or as small as you want. And I want these to be just a little bit smaller. So to do that, I'm just put my finger right here and I'm just going to pull a little bit. I'm going to do the same on this side. And then I'm going to trim my thread. Like I said, you will get, whoops, I didn't stick it down. You will get a piece that's a good size so that you haven't easily find your bow. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Now we're going to stamp our happy birthday sentiment in Old Owl. And we'll see if I can do this. Da, 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 da. All right. So, ink, 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 ink. And we are going to go right in the middle of our, now I'm going to pull this down. Well, I'm going to pull that far so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, and we're just going to go right in the middle. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm going to close this up. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to take some mini dimensionals, and I am just going to put my minis on the ends of my sentiment. Just like, not completely on the end, but it's just so that they're not over your bowl. And I'm like this. Whoops. And I'm a little bit off. So you could do a half, cut your minis in half, but a full will fit. I'm just going to peel these backings off. That, and like this. And there you have happy birthday. And just make sure and cover up that seal. And then we're going to embellish with the same embellishments, but this time we're going to use the white note. I love white embellishments. Okay, so we are going to take a big, and we're going to put it down here. And we're going to take a little, and I'm going to, sorry, my Tickle-Pie is all bumped up. All right, and then we're going to put one here, and then we're going to take another big, and we're going to go to make our triangle. We're going to do. All right, there is card number 2. So pretty. I love that petal pink. I mean, to me, that's more like peachy than pinky, but it's a shade of pink. Oh, you know what? Put a little bit of Wink of Stella on those flowers. That's what I did. Let's add a little wink. I'm just gonna not cover the whole thing, just enough to give it a little zhuzh. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on the leaves. Like I said, I'm not covering it all. Just kind of adding a little touch there. So there, I'll add a little bit of extra sparkle. All right, so now let's go on to card number 3. And card number 3 is this one, always here for you. This is the one that I said that we were going to cut our own stencil, our own mask for our card. So in card number 3, you are going to receive a piece of Secret Sea cardstock for your card base. You're going to receive a piece of basic white for a mat and a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside of your card. You're also, remember when I said to hold on to that little piece that you trimmed off from that other card? This is what these are, look here. These are going to be, we're going to make little bows, ends of ribbon bows with paper. Okay, so you're going to get that. Then you'll have this stripe strip of DSP, and then you'll receive this one that has the little diamonds on it. This is the other side, that's the other color, and this side is plum cake. These little white flowers, so pretty. Thanks, Lori. And then you're also going to receive the white baker's twine or a ribbon. And then you're going to receive 2 pieces of basic white that are the same size. One of these is to die cut the circle grid for our scallop. The other one is to cut that other die that we just used to make your stencil, to make your mask. Okay? And then these are going to be what you stamped and die cut from your stamping guide. This is for your sentiment. Okay? So first things first is let's die cut our stencil. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take our machine here. And I have a mess. So I'm just going to time. Let's just write these off here. We'll get those later. Either that or Paul will come up and say, oh my gosh, you have craft bits all over the floor. Yep. All right. Or he'll say, your craft room is shedding. God love it. All right. So we're just going to make a mask. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we are going to run this through here. Okay, so what do you guys think of the Lovely Arrangements stamp and die set? Was this something that you're like always liked when you saw it first when it came out, or was it like, oh, it's okay? Like I just instantly loved it because I think it was because of the dies. I really do, because of that something different. I really think it was, and I'm a sucker for flowers. A flower stamp set. Okay, I'm going to take a little sip of Diet Coke here. I'm starting to talking to my coach. Okay, so first things first, let's get the messy stuff out of the way. That just means your room is well loved. Exactly, Peggy. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm going to tell them. You don't have this yet? Oh, now you sound like me when I'm watching your videos, Melissa, and I'm like, oh, I don't have that yet, but kind of like the gears and textures set. All of a sudden, I didn't need it, but I watched Melissa's video and all of a sudden I needed it. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is we are going to do some blending, and I grab my kind of light bluish blending brush and my cloud cover. And the first thing that I am going to do is I want to make sure the little dots are out of here, because it matters, because you want your stencil to have holes in it, right? Another thing that I love about crafting is just, able to make your own stuff with what you have. So just take a die and some paper and you can make yourself a stencil or a mask. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of, and this is up to you, I'm just going to kind of lay it like this. And I want most of my stenciling to be over here, because I'm going to make a half circle of my focal point. It's going to be the flowers and the leaves, and it's going to kind of go like that. You don't need to tape it down. Just make sure that you don't go over. So because you don't want that straight line. So what you could do is you could take a piece of scrap paper or something and put it, let's use a colored piece so you know what I mean, and then just kind of set it here so you don't go over that edge. Okay, then we're just going to lightly go in our mask to make our little flowers. And like I said, again, over here, you don't want to go on the right, because you're going to get that straight line, and you don't want that. And it's just there so that you kind of remember, oh yeah, I shouldn't go right there. And the harder you press, the darker your stencil will be. So there is our stencil. And like I said, this one. Okay, so you kind of see that. We're going to set that aside. And we're going to keep our brush out, because I am going to add a little bit of blending also on here to kind of you want to break up that white space. Or a Post-it note, absolutely, Peggy, Post-it note works perfect. And I'm just going to start, I always kind of start off, I think my scrap paper is getting a little too much stuff, because I just grabbed ink from my scrap paper. Okay, we're just going to start from the edge, and I'm going to go up here and through. And like I said, you just want to go lightly, and then you can go a little bit darker when you get closer to the center-ish spot. And I'm just going to go up. And it's kind of following that line of your half circle where your focal point is going to be. Just like that. And then we are going to add a little bit of splatter on this as well. I'm going to put this aside. This up, and we're going to use the dark cloud cover blend. I'm going to do the same thing, except for I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't get that on the stuff right here. I'm going to do the same thing. You're just going to tap like that. And a little bit of sprinkle. Okay, put that up. And then we can put this down. Okay. So now we are going to, you will die cut your circle grid. And again, you are going to cut this apart. Now, the last time I cut it with the trimmer, but you don't have to. You can just use your snips and cut it. So, and you are going to need probably one extra. I'm actually going to cut it from the other side so you don't get them little bumps. You can trim those little bumps up, but why? You just, I don't know them. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing that we did on that first card. Boy, I can't pick anything up to it. We're going to add some seal on the back. See, this is like that accent sheet. Can you see, like it's cut off here? All right. I'm going to add some seal on here so we have a place for our border to stick to. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to line that up. And I like to go right to the indent there. That way, when you put on the next row, it will be even because you're in the same spot. And yeah, you only need like a half, like not even a whole of another circle because it'll just trim them. Another thing, like I said, another great way, in crafting that I love is you can make something out of something you already have. So you don't need a fancy scallop punch. You can have the circle dies, right? Another reason why I want this set. So many possibilities. Okay, so now we have that done. Now I'm going to take my piece of DSP and we are going to add seal on that, and we are going to put this at the bottom of our card mat that we just did our stenciling and our blending on. So have you guys ever, have you ever did the blending stencil before? And two, have you ever made your own? I'd love to know if you tried it. Okay, so we're just going, if you watched my videos before, you know that I always kind of bend it a little bit and go at the bottom, and then I let it roll down. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to decide where I want that. And I think I want it bigger. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add some more seal to this because the other stuff got covered up with this little scallop. And then I am going to place it. You don't want to see any other light through the scallops. So I'm just going to set it till I don't see that. Okay, so then you have that. And now you will receive you'll have the two pieces of baker's twine. Save the longer one for your bowl. This is going to be wrapped around here. And that's, again, too, why we did not put the mat on the base yet. Lori's done both. Cool. I love it. And I like when it's just like, sometimes it's a little bit, especially for somebody that's a beginner, to know that you did this. And I mean, it's instead of doing like a full image right away, to just start with something small. Like, just put some on there. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a great way to learn how to do that technique. Okay, and we're just going to wrap this around. Make sure that it doesn't look like this. Just straightish. And then I'm going to trim the edges off here so it's not so bulky. Okay. Then I'm going to run some seal around this so we can put this on the front of our card base. Now that we have our ribbon tied around it. Maybe not. All right, let's fold and turn the sharp card base. So that, I'm going to do the other side. All right. Okay, and then we're going to put this on the front of our card base with even margins all the way around. You know, I forgot that tonight was the opening ceremonies of the Olympics. Oh, geez. Guess we're going to have to watch the replay. Or I'm going to. Paul's probably out of watching. Okay, so I'm going to take the flowers that I stamped and die cut. Now, these are stamped in Secret Sea. And the leaves are stamped in Old Hollow. Okay, and then you have your piece for your center. I'm going to set that aside. And then we're going to color these with cloud cover blends. And we're going to use both the dark and the light. And now I don't want to color them completely again. The two, it will be like the big and the little, will get more color. This one, I'm just going to do a little bit on. And I'm just going to take, let's start with these. I'm going to start with my dark. I'm going to do the same thing as that other flower. I'm just going to do a little bit of flicking. Focus that. And then I'm going to take the light and I'm going to go from the center. I'm going to make a circular motion and then go, so it helps pull the color. And then you're going to get rid of that little stark line from the flicking. But I also want to add a little bit of that flicking motion to give it that watery color. So, we're going to do the same thing on this other, the smaller. Oh, that's light. Start with dark. And that's up to you. However you do your blending. I learned how to blend from Melissa, and Melissa blends with the dark and then the light. Just do the way that you learned. That's the best tip that I can give you. You know, whatever way you're comfortable. If you want to try it a different way, go for it. But I just do how I was taught, and that's the way I've always done it. A lot of people do start with the light and then use the dark as their accent. And that's okay. There's no wrong or right way. If you want to just color them like with markers, then use them like markers. It's your card. Okay, so now we want to take the light, and I'm going to use the bullet tip, and I'm going to do just a little bit of flicking because I want it to be very light on both sides. Just like that. And then I am going to go a little bit with the brush tip, kind of in the center, and do just a little bit. Because we are going to add Wink of Stella on this, and the Wink of Stella will brighten it up. Okay. We're going to do the same thing that we did in the other card. We are going to curl our flowers, and now I want these to be just a little bit more curled than like the last one. I just did a little bit. I want these that are going to be on the bottom right here. I want them to be good and curled. And by doing this, you're just breaking up the fibers of the paper. Don't do it so hard where you rip the paper. And now this one, I'm just going to do teeny tiny little bit just at the tips, just to give it that little extra. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the leaves. I'm just going to go at the tips, so just to give them that little bit of curl. Okay. And we are going to flip these over, and these are going to get dimensionals. And again, too, like I said, I'm not going to use a ton of dimensionals because I want to be able to tuck my leaves under. And we're also going to tuck our little paper ribbon in. I love that. This paper. Oh, I wish that there was a whole sheet of that in the DSP. All right. But it's just on those little squares. Okay, so we're going to just eyeball this. And no, I'm not going to push them down. I did take the backs off of my dimensionals, but if you don't push them down real hard, you are able to move things around. So I know that, like I said, we're kind of making our little bouquet here. And the smaller one is going to get tucked like this. And then this one is going to get kind of tucked here. Well, not tucked, but over the top. And you want it to be a little bit over your striped piece. Then I am going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to just put these at the ends, the end of my leaf, and not all the way up. And then this way you can tuck that right under there. And now I am going to press these down because I know that's where I want them to be. All right. Same thing with the other leaf. We're just going to tuck that right about here. And then a little bit further down. So now with your little pieces of DSP, and this is why I cut those, how I cut that paper so that I had a little bit more to play with. And then I'm going to not use my ribbon scissors. I'm going to use my snips, and I'm just going to make a little bit of a banner at the bottom up here. So I just go up middle, and then I go from one corner up to where you went, and then flip it over, and then do the same thing. Go from the corner up to where you cut. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to go up and then touch, and then from the corner up to where you stopped, and then I'll flip it over and do the same thing from the corner. Okay, so now I'm going to take these, and I want these to curl like this. Just going to go like that. Okay. Then I'm going to take my liquid glue, and on the other side, I'm going to put a little bit of glue just up the tip. And then we are going to get these like so. And the reason why I curled it the way, because I want it to hold down like that. And then we're going to just position the other one. Maybe. Should maybe trim this one. So that under. I'm going to trim this off. It's too long. Add a little bit more glue. This one. There. I want it to be a little bit shorter. There we go. There. So we have our little paper bowl ribbon ends. Isn't that cute? The little tails. Love that. You can make them shorter. I'm going to push them in a little bit more. I don't want to cover too much up over your stenciling. Okay, and now we're going to take our ribbon, the longer piece. I'm just going to thread this underneath, like so, and we're going to tie a bow. Easy peasy. If you want, you could tie the bow just in your hand and then attach it with a glue dot. But this is, the skinny twine is a little bit easier to do than like a big bulky ribbon. Okay, and I'm just going to adjust this the way I want it. Like that. Thanks, Peggy. You like that? Making it with the bow like that? I think that's cute. Or with the paper. I thought that was a great idea. Okay, now for the fun part. We are going to stamp our sentiment and C for C, and we are going to fussy cut it up. Okay. And always here for you. Secret C. I love Secret C. Do you guys like Secret C? Oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. It's like the new black. It's so pretty. Just love it. And it goes so good with so many colors. I just love it. All right. So now I'm going to use my paper scissors, the one that I use to fussy cut. Did you just say fussy cut and fun in the same sentence? Yes, I did. Okay, so this is a pretty big piece of paper. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to cut around this so that it's not so much paper. That's a little bit easier that one. Okay, so pick a side. If you fussy cut, just pick where you want to start. Okay, so I'm going to start at where the U, Y-O-U, and like so when you fussy cut, you move the paper, not the scissors. Yeah, fussy cutting's not my favorite either, but sometimes you just have to do it. And like anything, practice makes perfect, right? Or practice makes better. Maybe? Okay, so we're just moving the paper. There. Yes. So I don't chew gum and walk at the same time, so I'm trying very hard to still talk and fussy cut at the same time. It's not the easiest thing to do on camera to begin with. Okay, so now if you want, you can kind of go in between, or you can just cut it straight across. Because we have our, the printed. And then I start running around my A and the L. As you can see, it was moving the paper. And I like to start a little, further down in my scissors. I shouldn't have taken them. It's easier for me. And I don't know, a lot of left-handed people say that they cannot fussy cut because, we're using our left hand and we're not using left-handed scissors and you can't see what you're doing. But I don't know. I've just always been able to do it. I've also practiced quite a bit. And again, you can just cut straight across here. And then I'm going to go and start from here. I'm just going to move the paper like this so we can get that nice rounded E. Don't cut your U off. And I'm just going to move that. And there you have it. There's your always here for you. And now this we are going to attach with mini dimensionals. So here, and here, I think I'm just going to use 3. Just enough so that it doesn't sag in the middle. I avoid fussy cutting at all costs. Well, Lori, this one would be a great one where you would not have to fussy cut. You could just have a die cut or a rectangle. I'm going to just cut this straight across here. I'm not going to run bumpy. Now we are going to put that event here. And then we're going to embellish with our same embellishments and we're going to use cloud cover again. These would be pretty with Secret C too. What do you think? Secret C or the cloud cover? I don't know. Maybe I'll stick with my cloud cover. Okay, so we're going to go one right here, a big. We're going to take a little, go one right here. Then we're going to take another little, and then we're going to make our triangle. So we're going to go and it falls there. Okay, the only thing that we have left for this card is to add some Wink of Stella. So I'm just going to, not going to cover the whole thing. I'm going to go in the centers, and then I'm just going to go up a little bit following the lines that were on in the stand. Just to give it that little extra. And then here, I'm going to do the same thing. Remember I said it would kind of brighten it up a little. And I'm going to kind of push that in, kind of like you're blending. Like that. And I'm going to put a little bit on the leaves. Just a little bit. So do you guys have big plans for the weekend? We don't really have anything, I think. Should probably ask Paul. All right. So there's card number 3. All right. Let's go on to card number 4. Last but not least. And we are going to use the circle grid for its intent purpose. Okay. Before we make this card, because I just realized I forgot this at the beginning. I was so excited to go live today because everything was working. I have the 4 card kits, right? When you spend $50, you receive the 4 card kit, or you receive the card kits and has 4 cards. No. Kylie has a cheer competition tomorrow, her first real one this evening. Oh, how exciting. Is it one that you guys are traveling to, or is it around here? Very fun, Melissa. Okay. I have a bonus this week. If you're going to spend the $50, you receive the first kit. If you spend $100 in my online store before tax and shipping and after rewards, you know the drill, right? You will receive a link for a video and these as a kit, not just the PDF instructions. You will receive a kit to make the gift bag / purse and this card that matches that. Okay, but this card is so cute. Look at this. It has a little tiny card on the inside. It says just enough and has that really pretty cake with the white flowers. I'm going to just touch it. It's in town. Well, that's good. And I like this because it's sending smiles. This does have fussy cut paper so that it matches this. And then the cloud cover bowl. I just think this is so cute. This holds a lot. Okay, you see, this easily holds all 5 cards and envelopes, plus it would hold more, or a gift. This would hold a good sized gift. But isn't that cute? Has the little purse handle on there, and has DSP, uses the 2-tone card, 12 by 12 2-tone cardstock, so it's dark on the inside and light on the outside. I forgot to say that at the beginning. So this you would then receive if you spent $100. So you have your bonus. I do know it's bonus coupon times, but also if you spend $75, you can get the product of the month, which is awesome designer series paper, which I received today and I just went through and it's gorgeous. So just spend a little bit more. I'm sure there's something on your wish list. Bring it up another $25 to $100 and you receive 2 card kits. Well, a card kit and then a fun crafting project with a matching card. And then all of these match together if you wanted to. You could put all the cards in here as a gift for somebody. I think that's a really kind of fun idea. Okay, sorry about that. I was going to say that at the beginning and I forgot. I also will have it posted on Facebook, so, and on my blog. Okay, last but not least, we have a Secret C card base. You will receive a piece of basic white or a matte, a piece of basic white for the inside of your card. You'll receive a piece of a DSP cut for you for your other matte. This piece of DSP, we are going to, well, you will stamp your leaves on the DSP in Old Olive on this. I think that's another great way to show that you can stamp on your DSP and use that way. You'll receive a piece of Secret C to die cut your circle grid. You're going to receive a piece of vellum that's cut for you. And you'll receive a piece of basic white to stamp and die cut your sentiment tag. Okay, you'll receive a piece of cloud cover. I used it to show the masking, but you receive a piece of cloud cover cardstock, and we are going to stamp in Secret C, your real stamp in Secret C right onto the cloud cover. No, and then just a little bit of blending, or you can leave it like this, no coloring. Also received 2 pieces of strips of the striped DSP. We're going to do the same thing as that last card and make some little paper boat tails. Okay. This one's a pretty easy card, but I think it is just beautiful. This, I feel, this could easily you could send this as a masculine card. Maybe not put the little paper bows, but I don't know, the colors, I just think you could easily send this to a guy as a thank you card. Okay, so we fold and burnish our card base. Then we're going to take our DSP mat, and this is that other side that I like so much. But look at it. The A side and the B side are both awesome. Okay, we're going to take our seal. We're like, stop talking, just make the card already, right? Okay, and we are going to put this on our basic white card mat, and we are just going to make sure that it has even margins all the way around. And we're going to push that down, and we're going to flip that over, and we're going to add more seal, and we are going to put this on our card, making sure our flowers are going the right way because this is directional. It doesn't seem like it is, but it is. Okay. And again, same margins all the way up. Now, we are going to take our piece of vellum. And this is going to go just over the top. It's so pretty because it kind of mutes. It's a busier pattern, so it mutes it. And we are just going to put some seal just in the center, because we don't want the seal to show. And this will cover up with what we're putting on. So we're just going to put that right in the center. Okay. Then we're going to take our, what I like to call the circle grid, and we are going to put some dimensionals on here, but you do not need to cover the entire thing with dimensionals. If you want to, by all means, go for it. But I'm going to put them in the corners. So I am going to for sure use 5. I might use 6. Okay, then put them in the corners. And then we're going to, since you can't go in the middle, you kind of pick one side there, and that's why I'm using 6. So it's kind of like they're in the middle. So you don't want any sagging centers. Okay, I'm going to peel these off. Like so. And this is going to go in the middle of our vellum piece. Like that. Then we have you will have your the stamp. I don't know if you can see this. I stamped right on the DSP in the same color of the DSP. And we have our flowers. And we have our sentiment tag. And we are going to stamp thank you in Old Olive. So on my Old Olive ink pad. All right. I'm going to get this good and inked up. And I'm going to go more to the right. I'm not going to go right in the center because I want to leave some space on the left to tuck under my flowers. Now we have our thank you. All right. So, Melissa, did you get your room cleaned? I miss Lori's thing for the weekend. They're going to raise folks and clean for them. Oh, that's nice, Lori. Very nice. Okay, so I am going to place my leaves because I know I want one here and one here. So I'm going to go like this. This is a good way for placing. I know I want them like that, and I want this one that's like the smaller, shorter one, and I want it to kind of go like this. And then I want the bigger one like this. Almost done. Well, good deal. And then I want this to go over this. Okay? So we are going to glue our leaves down, and we're not going to do any curling really on. So we're just going to leave them plain and simple. And I like it when you can like make the branch of the leaves. That's a good way to know. I can be a slow cleaner sometimes. Well, you know what? You're not rushing, so you're doing it the right way. Okay. And then I just like to make them touch. Okay. Then we're going to take, I'm going to leave these so you guys can see the difference where if you just stamp right on the cardstock or you can color them with pens. And I wanted to show you guys either way. Now this one is going to go directly down without dimensionals. I don't put glue on that little thing. I always just kind of put just a little. And I want it to go off of the grid just a little bit on this corner here. Okay. Then we're going to take our sentiment. I'm going to place it about right here. And now this I am going to use dimensionals. And I'm just going to put 2 in the center so that it stays on the centerpiece and doesn't go off the side, because then you have to stack your dimensionals, which you can, but you don't need to because it's close enough to the edge, I think, that you don't have to do that. And we're just going to place that just like this. Okay. Then we're going to take our flower, and that's the other flower is going to go like that. And it's going to go over the thank you. So I'm going to put some liquid glue right here. And I am going to take a dimensional, and I'm going to put a dimensional up here. So like this. And then we're going to, because I only put the dimensional up on this side, we're going to have space to take our ribbons, paper ribbons, and tuck them in. And now these are pretty long. I think I'm going to cut these in half. I'll just use one. And we're going to do the little banner ends. And now you don't have to do banner ends if you don't want. You can just run them twin. I must have adhesive in my scissors. Okay. Snip it, snip it. I am going to do a little bit of curl on these, but you don't need to. I just like how it rests on the paper like this. Kind of reminds me of like a curly with it. And then we are just going to, let's see, I think we want dimensionals on these. But I'm just going to place the dimensionals right here. And then put I'm going to start with 1. So I might, well, no, I think I'll lose 2. I'm just going to tap that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to peel this off in this way. And then too good. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to tuck this underneath that flower. I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of cross it a little bit. And we got that. And now we are going to use the old olive embellishments for our card. And we are going to take a big one and put it up top here in the top left. We're going to take a little and put it here. And then we're going to do another little. Hi, everyone. Oh, hi, Lene. How are you? Thank you. So glad to see you. And then we're going to take our small one and we're going to make our triangle. We're just going to do right down there. All right. So those are our 4 cards. Let's bring them out and show you. Just got a mess here. And grab the other cards that we made. Okay. So this was the first card. Thanks, Lori. Hello, friend. And we had a happy birthday. And we had always here for you. And we have a thank you. So great all occasion cards. Great to go in your little gift bag / purse with your matching other card that goes with it. And this one uses the striped embossing folder that goes in the suite. So these are all of the cards for today. Thank you guys so much for joining on a Friday night instead of a Thursday afternoon. I really appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Melissa. I'm glad you guys could join me. And yeah, so that's it. And maybe I'll go switch over to just here. Let's go to the front. So yeah, so thanks for your patience. Hopefully we can get everything. Now we have a temporary setup. We're good. It works. So that makes me happy. I was able to not delay this too far. Very nice. Love the purse. Thanks, Peggy. Bye, Lori. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I am always available to answer any questions that you have. Just go to my webpage, expressionsbylish.com. All my info is on there. Everywhere that you need to reach me is on my website. So thanks again, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.